Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. Now this week I'm going to be doing a Beatles vinyl update, and in this update I've got a few singles, there's mainly albums. I've got quite a few American, Canadian and German albums to show rather than UK stuff, but there are one or two UK bits in there. And I'll also be showing the new Sgt. Pepper's releases that came out for the 50th anniversary. And I'll show those pieces at the very end of the video, just in case quite a few of you have already seen other people show them and would prefer to see my other things first. So anyway, I'll begin by showing a few singles I've got. So the very first one is the American release of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and with a little help from my friends, backed with A Day in the Life. And this came out in the late 70s. And it's different to the UK version of this, which just has kind of a full Sgt. Pepper's cover rather than this yellow border here. There's the other side. And the single is on the purple capital label. Here it is. And there's the B-side. And next up, I've got a UK single to show. And this is a copy of Get Back. Actually, I'll take it out of the top of the sleeve so you can see it a bit better. So we've got Get Back here from 1969. And that's backed with Don't Let Me Down. So I've just got a copy of that there. Next is an American copy of John Lennon's Give Peace a Chance. And it's on the American Apple label, which is very different to the UK one. And it's also got a jukebox centre. And that's backed with Remember Love. And finally for the singles, I've got something a little bit obscure. And this is a song called Seaside Woman. And as you can see, it's on yellow vinyl. But anyway, this song here, Seaside Woman, by Susie and the Red Stripes, was written by Linda McCartney, as you can see at the top there, and was released in 1977. And this isn't really Beatles vinyl, but I just thought I'd show it in anyway as an interesting single. And the B-side's also credited to McCartney as well. B-side to Seaside. So I just thought I'd show that interesting single. And next up, I've got a couple of 12-inch singles. So here's the Beatles' Love Me Do 12-inch, which came out in, I believe, 1981, at the same time as the 7-inch singles came out. Now, I don't think there was a 12-inch single to accompany every individual 7-inch single, but I could be wrong. And on this you get Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You on side 1, and then you get the original single version of Love Me Do on the B-side, which you don't get on the 7-inch equivalent of this. And this is on a reproduction of the red Parlophone label. Looks like this. That's the B-side there, actually, and there's the A-side. And the next thing I've got is a 12-inch single of All You Need Is Love, and this is also a British release. There's the back. Baby You a Rich Man's a song on the B-side. And this came out in 1987, so this marked the 20th anniversary for All You Need Is Love. And again, this is on the Parlophone label. This is just on a black and silver one. And there's the B-side. Now, before I move on to the albums, I realise I've actually got a couple more 7-inch singles to show, so I'll just do those first. So first of all, I've got a copy of Strawberry Fields Forever / Penny Lane, which came out for Record Store Day this year, back in April. And this was remixed by Giles Martin. And there was also a Paul McCartney cassette which came out as well, however, that one eluded me. Well, there's the back anyway. And it's nice that this the single got a 50th anniversary release, because it really is a fantastic song. And the last single I've got to show, I would say, is probably one of my favourite pieces for this update, actually. And it's a copy of Hey Jude and Revolution here. Comes with this picture cover, and this is an export copy, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So as you can see, it comes with this picture cover, which the UK edition didn't come with, and whereas the UK single was on the Apple label, because they moved to Apple by this point, this export copy is actually on the black and silver Parlophone label, just as the earlier Beatles singles had been. So it's very unusual to see it on this label. Now there's 5 or 6 singles you can get like this on the Parlophone label, which would normally be on the Apple label. For instance, you can get a copy of Let It Be on the Parlophone label. However, they are pretty difficult to find, so I was lucky to find this one. But yeah, it's really interesting to see. There's Revolution again on the Parlophone label. So if you find something like this, then it's an export copy, okay? Right, without further ado, we'll move on to the LPs. So I've got a couple of white albums to show first of all, both original UK copies. The first one is a mono copy, and I'll show you the number. It's number 31,822, so that's a pretty low number. And there's the cover, which is quite white considering its age. Not too bad, this cover. And I'll show you the stuff that it comes with. Right, so I'll show you the inserts that it comes with first. This one is complete, although unfortunately it doesn't have a spacer, but that's no great tragedy or anything. So anyway, you've got the poster here with all the lyrics on one side and the collage on the other side. And you've also got the 4 photographs. So I'll just show you those one by one. You've got Paul McCartney there, and then you've got John Lennon and George Harrison, and last but not least, Ringo. And this copy does come with this original black inners. One of them's in good condition, the other one not so much. Here's the better of the 2 black inner sleeves there. No real rips or anything. And the record is here. So it's an original mono pressing without any EMI recording, so which shows you that it's a particularly early copy, which matches the number that it comes with, because as I said, that's quite a low number. And there's side 2. Now the other black in the sleeve isn't in very good condition. If you look there, it's had lots of rips to the centre area, and the entire side has come away at both ends, unfortunately. And here's side 3, which again doesn't have an EMI recording. And to be honest, what I like about this album, apart from the fact that it's complete, is that it's actually in pretty good condition, all things considered. Because I'm used to picking up these monos with lots of scratches on them and lots of staining on the cover, but all things considered, it's actually pretty nice copy. This, not too many scratches on the vinyl, and plays nicely as well, so that's always nice. And here's my second original white album. This one's much later, and it's a stereo copy, and the number is 533,988. And this one is in quite as nice condition as the mono. As you can see, it's got some residue from some sticky tape someone's put on at some point. And I don't know why, because there's no apparent damage to the cover anywhere, which would warrant putting that one sellotape on. But I'll show you the inserts with this one. Now, it doesn't come with the photographs, it does come with a poster. However, the bad news with that is that it's in several pieces, unfortunately. So the posters come away. However, it does come with a black in the sleeves, which are in varying states. So you've got one black in the sleeve here, which is torn in the centre and has got a lot of side splits. But here's the stereo record, and these sides do have an EMI recording on, but it's still an original copy, of course. And there's side 2 with the name in the top left corner, Alison Lee. And the other inner sleeve's in much better condition, doesn't have any side splits or anything. Just minor tearing at the centre. and this has some slightly early stereo labels because these ones don't have an EMI recording, and it's perfectly normal to get kind of one record with them and one record without EMI recording in white albums, because they were quite often mixed and matched when they were putting the labels on. And again, that's got Alison Lee in the top left corner there. And like the mono, this one's in pretty good condition as far as the vinyl's concerned. So we now move on to the American and Canadian stuff I've got to show. And the first one is a mono copy of A Hard Day's Night. This is an American pressing. There's the back of the cover, which is pretty white, so that's good to get in nice condition. And the vinyl is here. On the United Artists label. And here I've got a Canadian purple label pressing of the early Beatles from, I believe, 1978. And again, this is in pretty good condition. It's got a bit of scuff in here, but in terms of colour, it's still nice and white on the back. And here is the purple capital label that it comes with. And I believe this to be the second version of the purple label, which doesn't have the capital logo at the top, but doesn't say under license in this section of the perimeter text. And here's another Canadian one. This is a copy of Rubber Soul, and it's a green target label pressing. There's the back of the cover there, and as it says down below, manufactured and distributed in Canada. And here's the green target label. And it says the same thing at the bottom, manufactured and distributed in Canada. And there's side 2. And here we have something similar. This is another green target label pressing, and this time it's of Sgt. Pepper. However, this is an American pressing, not a Canadian one. And it's got a nice bright green target label here. And there's side 2. And of course it also comes with the signature Sgt. Pepper's insert here. The cutouts. Just blank on the other side, of course. And here I've got a Canadian pressing of Abbey Road, and I believe that this is the second pressing. Through the cover quickly. So there's the back. Interestingly, the way this cover's been folded, the front cover kind of blends over into the back there. So you can see the top of the sky, and there's just where the spine does something similar. It creates a white border, and you can see the road at the bottom there. And once again, distributed by in Canada by Capitol Records. And doesn't have Her Majesty on the back of the cover. And here's the Canadian Apple label. And there's side 2, which does feature the Her Majesty credit. And the next thing I've got here is also Canadian, however this is something more modern. This came out in 2005, and it's something really bizarre actually. I've never seen this before. Well, I picked this up for a few pounds about a month ago. Now it's a remix of Because, and it's called a Shiloh remix. That's how it's pronounced. But it's a one-sided 12-inch thing, just blank on side 2 there. And it's an interesting remix. It's a little bit like the sort of thing you might expect to find on the Beatles' Love album, which is full of remixes and stuff like that. However, it's also slightly more techno based. But you know, for a few pounds, it was an interesting oddity. And now I've got some German albums to show. So here we've got a copy of the Beatles Beat, and this came out in 1964, and it has a lot of songs from with the Beatles, with some singles and B-sides thrown on there. Very good album. And here's the original in the sleeve that it comes with, advertising many of the 60s artists, including the Beatles. And here's the green Odeon label for this album. And there's the back, side two, I mean. This is in mono, not stereo. And here we've got a copy of Help from 1965, and this is a stereo copy. And it's all told in German on the front there. And there's the back, which is largely similar to the UK edition. Same tracks. And here's the red Horseshoe label. Now, I was looking on Discogs at this, and it seems like there's about 1 million different versions of it, but still nice to have. And there's side two as well. And here I've just got a George Harrison album to show as well, and I got this just today as a matter of fact. It's a copy of Extra Texture, and this is an original with the texture cover. I don't know if you'll quite be able to see on the camera, but it's textured. You can feel all the little bumps. The logo there, of course. And there's all the tracks on the back. Read all about it. And this album came out in '75. And here is the inner sleeve. And there's the other side. And the label here, which I really like. And just before I get into the brand new Sgt. Pepper's stuff, I've got a CD here, and it's a copy of Wings' Greatest, the same album that was released in the UK on vinyl in 1978. And there's the back with all 12 tracks on. And the CD came out in 1993. And there's the disc and the insert. And now we've got the new Sgt. Pepper's releases, so I'll show you this LP here first. So this was Giles Martin's brand new stereo mix of the album, and I have opened it. I've just kept the shrink wrap on, and I'll show you the sticker here. So this is actually a double album, and on record 1 you get just the same version of Sgt. Pepper's that we all know and love, except this is obviously Giles Martin's brand new stereo version, and it sounds fantastic, by the way. And then on record 2, which I've also listened to, you get a variety of sessions and alternate takes of all the songs, which is also quite interesting to hear, because there's certain songs on here which are really, really stripped down with barely any kind of production on them, and they sound quite good actually, so that's worth a listen. There's the back, which is identical in more or less every single way to the original, apart from a little serial number here and there. Right, so here's all the stuff you get with the LP. First of all, you get this little informative guide here. Got some stuff about Sgt. Pepper's on the front. And it's a little booklet type thing, and opens up, and it's got lots of information on either side. It tells you about the Sgt. Pepper sessions, which you get on disc 2 as well. There's the other side. That's very interesting. You also get a very nice reproduction of the original psychedelic in a sleeve here. And you also get a white in the sleeve to keep your records in, so you don't have to keep it in the flame sleeve, which is very nice. And anyway, they've done a really, really good job of reproducing the original labels for this release. And I'll show you that now. So here's the yellow and black. There's the yellow and black parlophone label there, stereo in the top right corner. And really, apart from the long catalogue number beneath the PCS 7027 and the publishing credit for 2017, it's very, very similar to the original. It's really just the technical jargon that makes it different, such as the perimeter text. And then there's side 2. So that's very nice indeed. In here you also get a reproduction of the Sgt. Pepper cutouts. And interestingly, for the second record you also get a copy of the flame sleeve, so if you really wanted to, you could keep each of them in an original psychedelic sleeve. And in much the same way as the first record, the labels have been faithfully reproduced. And you can see that this has got side 3 written on it, and the other side, this is side 4, because it's classed as a double album. But you see all the different things you get on there. You've got Take 9 of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Takes 1 and 2 for the Help from My Friends, etc, etc. So it's much like the stuff that you would expect to find on the anthology albums. It's that type of stuff, but it's really good. And there's side 4 there. And in this cardboard box at the back here, we've got the big one. This is the deluxe box set, which also came out. So I'll show you that now. I'll have to be very careful when it comes to taking it out. So here we go. This is the deluxe set that you get. And I don't know how well I'll be able to show this, but I'll give it a go. It's got a lenticular front cover, so it changes as you move, which is a nice little feature. But anyway, the box set comprises of this outer part, and then you've got the inner part, so the top just slides off, which I'll demonstrate now. So I'll just delicately slide the top part away, and on the back of the outer section it tells you everything that you get inside here. So you get 4 audio CDs, including a new stereo mix of the album by Giles Martin, Sgt. Pepper sessions across 2 CDs with over 100 minutes of audio illustrating how the album was created, and a few more things. You get a mono mix on there as well. You also get a Blu-ray DVD of a 1992 documentary, The Making of Sgt. Pepper, and some promotional films for the day in the lives of Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, and even more. So you get plenty on here. And here's the actual insides of the set. So it's got a reproduction of the original EMI tape notes here of all the songs. Got their stereo, and it's got something similar on the back of the set. And the set just opens up like a book. So you've got the inside there. Okay, now I've taken everything out of the box and I'll put it back in reverse order as I show you them. So the thing you get at the very back of the box, and I haven't opened everything in here yet, you get this big Sgt. Pepper's book, which I'm sure is filled with plenty of information. As you can see, it's a very thick and very heavy book. It takes up most of the weight of the box set actually. Nice big red book with the Apple logo at the bottom there. So that goes at the very back. And in addition to that, you get another copy of the Sgt. Pepper's inserts here, just as you do with the LP. So that's a nice little feature. And you also get this poster, which I believe is a reproduction of the one John Lennon got the inspiration from for being the benefit of Mr. Kite from. As you can see the poster there, I'll show you bit by bit. So there's the bottom half. It's got being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. It's got Henderson and everything on there, and the horse. And there's the top half. Pablo thanks Circus Royal, Town Meadows, Rochdale. And you also get this poster here, which is a reproduction of the, or what I assume to be the original promotional poster for the album, and I'll show you it like this, so you can see it properly there. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band New Beatles LP Here Now. And the final thing you get is the CDs, and it actually comes in an LP cover, weirdly. So I haven't actually listened to these yet, but in here is the CDs and the Blu-ray and DVD. Even though it looks just like an LP cover, I was quite confused when I first opened this as well. And there's the back. Yep, and so that's the deluxe set. Alright, so that's the end of this week's video. So I hope you enjoyed seeing everything in this update, and I'll be doing one of my last Beatles videos next week, just because I haven't got that much more stuff to show. So I hope you'll tune in for that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.